So in the end I agree, but only after getting Shizune to acknowledge that I don't mean anything concrete just by accepting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends and we go back to class. Oh, come on, you know you're gonna get roped into the student council. Oh, girl again. During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. Time pass. That music. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I'd been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past if they're on their guard. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to a cell. What's wrong, Hee-chan? That's right, we're just gonna play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha, this all seems a little sinister to me. I started thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, it's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seemed like it would be so plausible. Oh, so you've been an imaginative boy, aren't you? Like, ooh, I wouldn't mind to be tortured by two girls. Anyways, getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. But that's it. This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hee-chan. Shi-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging, Misha signs something amusingly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hand behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that, I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center surrounded by chairs, and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well. Extras, perhaps? I'm glad we're talking about the extra chairs. Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. How do you know that? Like, how do you know that these? I mean, I guess the bookshelves, but like the filing cabinets, like opening the filing cabinet, like, yeah, there's school records in there. What you doing, boy? Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something, but the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? Let me guess. It's just you two. No. What do you mean, no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I managed to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hey, Chan, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain it to you while we set everything up. While Misha's talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for a liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. You're gonna lose. Halfway into the game. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, intenseness. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from my 2 fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Shi-chan wants to know that you're taking too long to make a move. Shi-chan also said that she would let you keep all straight if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Shi-chan admires your fighting spirit and would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Alright, see ya, Oliver. You're so competitive, Shizune. You seem to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's sized, so she pulls out a piece of paper and winks it for Shizune, who in return sends it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Oh, wait, please slow down, Chi-chan. Chi-chan says you're gonna lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of her shine with... I love that face. The eyes of her shine with childlike mischief. He says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. I feel like she's going to win either way, but I think it is a trap. It's like that she's trying to psych me out. Looking at the board again, I have a pretty good defense set up, and I'm not going to wreck it doing something reckless. A few turns later, I leave the game anyway. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. Hi-chan, you lost when you allowed me to take North America. Oh. I mean, Chi-chan, not me. Getting control of North America is ambitious because it provides you a 5 army bonus, but you can attack it from 3 fronts. You must defend them all. I thought you'd have more guts. How disappointing. Ambition, Hi-chan. Your plan needs to be more daring. Ambition, ambition. I was really excited when you took South America, but then you switched to playing defensively just because you gained a small advantage. That's no good, Hi-chan. You didn't take enough risks, and when you did, you didn't follow through. That's terrible, Hi-chan. Damn, what's a turf I played too carefully? I need to rub it in my face. It's like she's disappointed. Like, you could have done better than that. I wonder if you'd even be any good for the student council. What's this, reverse psychology? I guess I don't have to worry about joining or not in that case. Giving up stuff like that? I expected more of you. Seriously, is Shizune trying to taunt me into joining the student council? Besides, I don't even want to join. It's only my second day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a look at any other clubs yet. And these two, they're a little weird. Fine, I'll consider joining the council, but I want to take a look at the clubs before I decide. Really, Hi-chan? You're not saying that to make us feel better? Yeah, I'm just not sure that I want to. Aww. Damn, Shizune. She's sad. Okay, Hi-chan, we're not going to give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance he'll come around. Come on, we can really have fun. We can play more Risk, and maybe one day you could beat me. Unless you graduate before that. It doesn't make me feel any less reluctant about joining, you know. Surely you're not that horrible at board games. Maybe you can play a game you know then to give you a handicap. I might have said that just to make you feel better, after all. Oh, that's cold, Hi-chan. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Yeah, it's a long-ass game. I'm not a huge fan of Risk myself. I do enjoy the board games, but Risk isn't really my thing. I'm not a big board game fan in general, so that's an entirely different point. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine when the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. They don't know when it's open till. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Chi-chan. We think the library's open. It's on the 2nd floor. Can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No thanks, it's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye! Now a weird woman on the wall instead of weird man. One flight of stairs and I run into problems. The 2nd floor hallway is a carbon copy of the 3rd floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though. It's just barely ajar so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It would make sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. It's such a weird thing to talk about. Like, I don't understand you, he sighs sometimes. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to this school can't be shaken from my mind, so much that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I'd anticipated. leaning over and poking my head ever further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible. The meek hello on my lips is quickly snatched away. Oh, I love this song as well. This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking the sight of the solitary figures taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway, staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Hello there. May I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi. Sorry for intruding. I was just kinda lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling. That, and the slight cloudiness to her eyes, mean that she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student to Hanako? Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by a restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Sato. Pleased to meet you. Isao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with the formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I've never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offer of preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room are you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3, no? P3, no? That's right, in the science room with Moto. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine I come to like him. Most do. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seemed like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Do you have tea? I don't see the tea. I just see your hands together, and her hands together. But whatever. Nevertheless, the smell is quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles quickly and waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. She said this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. Now, this is the moment I think is definitely more Japanese thing where like there's definitely a level of formality that's different. Where like she doesn't sound that different from like Hisao, but you know it's harder to do in English than it is in Japanese. I guess I should try to ask her about herself, as it really does seem that she's cared to me. So, which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyaki and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself for the faux pas. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem the least bit put off by it. My. There's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure. Sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic as segue into another. Do you come in to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be your version of the place behind my school that I'd like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duty as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so everyone and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Suzune, her mannerism seems to be almost completely opposite. While Suzune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kinds of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field of the school during lunch times, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, though, such as the art and music clubs. And the time where I'm just wanting to get my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if the school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Good, that's a relief. I really let my guard down around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice light coming in the room. It has a sickly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course, she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. Something's becoming a surprise for her, because she must have lost track of the time. Sorry, Hisao. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to a later concern. No, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Suzune when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. I quickly glance at my watch to confirm that I have full enough time to get there. I'm not get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands slowly folded on the table in front of her. It's my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it all right. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me. Which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's alright, I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I can introduce you. She gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. She stands up to follow me. She takes hold of a straight retractable cane that had been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane that the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. And my voice. So much reading. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school library, with a distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There doesn't seem to be a lot of students here, Hisao. As a poet, you make a grammatical error? For shame! Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it in thin air since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Tilly can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Oh. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily. How can I help you? Her voice is strained and failing to understand casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for a pencil dropped, and while I was looking for both of you, then you came and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry I couldn't know. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, so worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expressions, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit a library perfectly. Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the two important books that arrived? Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but... Amidst her celebrations, partially for managing to change the topic, I'm sure, she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao. Pleased to meet you too, Hisao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranged to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. I plead, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. It's just too much responsibility. How's that any responsibility at all? I don't get, but her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself at the spot than tell me where the novels are. But... So there are a lot of books in Braille here? I tend to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to... not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or fourth of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or in audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of books, new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. There's been more on new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve all of them. It's so troublesome when they weigh so much, I wish I could quit this job. A very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisle then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would like to have those books if it's alright with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I study the spines of books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking with me if it looks good. In a few moments I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and Braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily in stuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks, set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at a desk, or either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of several beanbags. Oh, that girl before. It's the dark-haired girl from the class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. From the way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface. Before I know it, I'm walking towards a mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts, looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bags, I can see that part of her face, at least a third, if not a half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. For a second I am shocked and avert my eyes to the book in her hands, before I realize that looking away probably only makes it worse. It takes too many seconds to collect myself from what I walked up to her for. I'm gonna go with I didn't mean to startle you. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. It's okay. The girl certainly doesn't look like it's okay, but I let it slide. So, do you mind if I sit here? She seems to be very uncertain whether it's okay or not for me to sit, but finally she nods a little. Okay. I take the seat next to her as she hides herself behind her book. Oh, thank you. I'm streaming the last game with one viewer as I leave. Well, thank you. Yeah, I know. I don't have a lot of viewers, but I think it's okay, and I'm gonna do it more often. I'm getting a lot better setup than I did before, so that very much helps. Life of Pi. Never heard of it. So, sorry for startling you. I'm Hisao. She looks up from her book, stalling a little before replying. No. We are in the same class. Her speech is stilted and so quiet that it's barely audible even in the still library. Somehow I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Hanako. No, of course not. No, but thank you for the GLA. I'm Hanako. I was just urged to say that's a nice name, just to have something to say, but really it's the only thing I can think of. I feel like an idiot. Everyone here must be used to being different to each other, and here I am being all bothered and fussed about that kind of thing. Don't let me interrupt your reading. I'll just check these books if you don't mind. She nods a little and sighs a little sigh of relief. So I try to read the covers and the introductions of the books I picked up, and she buries her face in her book. Uncomfortable silence consumes us. My eyes still wander to her direction as I sneak peeks at her flowing hair and the scars it's hiding. After a while, I realize that she's doing the same and only pretending to be interested in Life of Pi. Her gaze is not inquisitive at all, though. It darts around like a scared rabbit. When our gazes finally meet, the chain reaction is unstoppable. She stands up forcefully from the beanbag and takes a deep breath. I've got to do something. Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs toward the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she is nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you notice a girl run past here? Maybe you. What did she look like? Long, dark hair, kinda shy. She had, some scars on her face. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear. Yuko, would you excuse me? I'd better try and find her. Sure, I'll just hold on to these until you come back. What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. Right, I'll see you later then. Lily hastily grabs her cane and hurries out of the library, leaving me alone with Yuko. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of this place. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? Nothing. I was just looking for some books and then she got this fit and ran off. The most offending thing I can think of was that I might have looked at her general direction a few times. Well, she is a very timid girl. You have to be careful around her. She can be very jumpy, I think, and she's not accustomed to talking with other people. Isn't that a bit strange? I wonder. It's just how she is, I think. Yuka doesn't sound all that convincing. Then again, maybe this is just the norm around here. Everyone has their own problems, or else they wouldn't be here. But how should I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casually only makes me feel phony. Like I was supposed to be ignoring the elephant in the room. Yuko fidgets, looking like she wants to say something to that, but resists it. I think it's an elephant only if you feel that way. I guess she doesn't have a good sense of self-restraint. Makes me smile and she blushes heavily. What? Did that sound stupid? No, it sounded really wise. I guess you're right. It's more about me than anyone else. Neither of us has anything to add, so Yuko fills the silence by shuffling some papers around. She seems to like doing that. People with papers on the desk really like doing that. Did you find any books? I should be closing soon. I mean, this library should be closing, but I have to do it. I hope that's not too inconvenient for you. Oh, yeah, I want some books, but I left them over there because... I'll just go get them. I fetched my stack of books from beside the beanbags where Hanako and I were sitting and returned to the counter. Wow, you read a lot, don't you? I surprise myself with that too, honestly. At least when I really think about it. I had a lot of free time earlier this year, so I just kind of started reading books to fill that time. I couldn't do much else. I see. But she doesn't say anything else and just checks out my books for me. I guess this is what they call tact. Holding the library books with one arm, I trawl my pocket for the key to the door. A sudden sound from behind startles me, making me nearly drop the books I'm carrying or the key that I almost managed to get into the lock. Who is it? I turn around to see who is talking to me. It's Kenji. He seems to be in a friendly mood, although the light glinting off his glasses in the dark gives him a sinister look. It's just me. This makes him pause and lick his lips nervously. Who is me? I don't know anyone called me. Are you some new guy again? His voice is suddenly strange and quick. Yes, but we've met before, yesterday. I don't think so. I remember someone who only met yesterday. When was that? What day is it today? I try to ignore him. Is he joking or what? Prove that we met before. You live across the hall. You're Kenji. Kenji jumps back, his eyes full of an uncomprehending fear. How do you know my name? Damn, this can only mean one of two things. Either we have met, and you're telling the truth, and I just can't remember it, or you're a spy. He pauses. A psychic spy. Psychic spy. His eyes dart around me, trying to peek into my room, although it's hard to believe he can see anything through those thick glasses. His mood swung from friendly to manic in less than a minute. I'm not psychic. How do I know that? I'm not a mind reader. She points a finger at my face damningly. Unlike you! Stop that, man. We met yesterday. What's wrong with you? I live in this room. Lies. Everything you passes he saw because I'm legally blind. You were sorely mistaken. You don't even look like him. I mean, the resemblance is real slim. Maybe a distance, but who do you think you're kidding? I want to grab him by the shoulders and shake him. Exasperated, I rub my eyes and let out a heavy sigh. Stay there. Kenji comes closer, one careful step at a time. I stay still lest he assault me physically, although I doubt he could do much damage even if he did. Oh wait, I see it now. Damn, it really is you. Sighing again, and then once again for good measure, I step backwards just in case. What's up, man? You don't look too good, I think. Something wrong? I don't know. Just had something stupid happen to me. And a few stupid things, actually. Even if you discount this one. I can't get a proper attention on other people here. I have no idea if it's because of me or because of them. I don't know why I'm telling this to Kenji. It's not like we've had any contact either. That's rough, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry about calling you a psychic spy and all, but you can never be too careful. It's the hard reality we live in. I'm slowly starting to think that Kenji isn't necessarily living in the same reality as the rest of us. You see, that's how it is, this world. There is no justice. You see, even when I lose, I win because I don't lose the lesson. What does that even mean? It doesn't matter. He dismisses it flatly with a wave of his hand. So what happened? Why the long face? Do you have a long face? Nah, it's nothing. I just scared some girl off accidentally. Literally, too. She actually ran away from me. It was my fault, really, I think. I'm not really used to all this yet. A girl? A cute one. cute? That's a hard question. She had a nice body and really beautiful hair, but the face... I think she was cute. I think she was pretty cute. Yeah, cute, I guess. I knew it! A lot of cute girls here. A strangely disproportionate amount. I believe this is one of the dark secrets of the school. I tried to warn you, man, but did you listen? I don't remember any such warning. Dark secrets? Yes, dark secrets. Extremely dark. Like a black hole. Have you noticed that the number of girls in the school is slightly but significantly higher than the number of boys? It's like 60-40. He turns his head to the left and stares off into the distance, but nothing. Why is it like this? I mean, his untrained eye doesn't appear to be that bad, but that is a full 20%. One would think that a school with such a huge pool of women would be a man's dream, but no! What I'm about to tell you could blow your mind. Are you ready? I don't know where this is going, but I think I won't be missing much by cutting out now. No, I am not ready. I only get as far as turn the door before Kenji starts talking again. He doesn't really care if my mind is blown or not. I believe that the school is a battleground, the site of a feminist infiltration. This disparity in the number of men to women is a clear sign of how far they've come. In case this Cold War turns hot, they will have superiority in numbers. Just another skirmish of the eternal war against the forces of the feminists. They're everywhere. In Japan, women outnumber men. It's not a 60-40 split, but it's only a matter of time, man. Even in America, women are the majority by a hair. They're building up their numbers. In the past, the build-up of military has always been the clearest sign of imminent war. Japan is just the first step. Our economy is badass, and the country itself is small and isolated. Yet a huge part of the Pacific is in terms of political value. The perfect target. They are so cunning, as expected of women. Soon, the day will come when... Kenji's voice trails off ominously. That is why you can't trust them. They will string you along and then kill you just as they killed me. You will end up just like me. Oh, hell no. I can't stop myself from blurting it out. Hey, what does that mean? You said it, not me. It's the best I can think of. So you're not supposed to say something like that. Damn, so rude. Where was I? Oh yeah, vast feminist conspiracy. Stop it. Stop. I lost you way back there somewhere. Somewhere around feminist infiltration. Too hard to follow? It's cool. I have some graphs and stuff in my room. And puppets. You like puppets? No puppets. You don't like puppets. Okay. Graphs are still cool though, right? He speaks energetically, responding almost before I'm done talking, moving his hands in an animated way as he continues to rant on. This is too strange. I pegged him as relatively normal, but it's clear that I was wrong. You really thought he was normal? From that first thing where you had all those locks on his door? I was already knowing that he was a weird. Something on your mind, dude? Let's think about what it's like to be the last sane man in an insane world. Kenji frowned, looking deeply upset. I mean, that's you? That can't be, because I'm the last sane man in an insane world. That is my dream. You can't just steal a man's dream. What the hell? There can't be two last sane men. It would invalidate the whole last part. And that part's kind of important. There can only be one, like in that Ford movie where there can only be one, and there is only one dude left, because that was the point. I've never seen anyone talk so heatedly and so defensively about absolutely nothing before. I don't know, I could do a pretty good job at defending nothing. Anyway, if you wait here, I can get my graphs. I also have a list of the other dark and complex conspiracies that the school holds, as tangled as... Quick, finish my analogy for me. Be a pal. I'm gonna go to bed now. It's extremely late. Doesn't sound like an analogy, but whatever. I like you. You seem like a cool dude. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about when I try to explain the vast feminist conspiracy to them. Denial is a terrible thing. Later. He claps me on the back and then vanishes into his room so quickly and quietly. It's like he didn't even open the door, but instead walked right through it like a ghost. I don't know if I can fully digest what happened, so I give up and just go to my room, kicking off my shoes before falling face first into bed. It takes me some time to relax, and I get up so I can get started on homework. It's because the sheets are cool and comforting against my cheeks, and it feels good just lying there with my eyes closed. The school is like some kind of bizarre and surreal island. It's isolated on top of a mountain, and each person is stranger than the last. I just can't seem to fit in. What irony, one would think, that fitting in a place that's made for people who are unfit for anywhere else would be easy. Maybe I'm trying too hard. Although I say that, it doesn't help take the edge off, and the words are left echoing off my empty walls. I guess it's not as bad as I expected, though. This place really is more of a school, it's more a school and less a hospital, pretending it's a school than I thought it would be. If nothing else, the scenery is beautiful. I open one eye, seeing the school books and bottles of pills arranged side by side on my desktop. Maybe this place is too much like a normal school after all. Is that the end of the day? That is the end of the day. And with that, I think I'm going to end for the day because I am tired. But thank you to the people that joined during the stream. This should be uploaded to YouTube soon. Or I guess if you're seeing this now, then you probably are watching it on YouTube. But again, thank you for everyone that joined during the stream. And I hope to do this again soon. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's very taxing on my voice. But anyways, I will see you all at another time. Thank you all for joining. Bye-bye.